Hey, good morning, everyone. We are live. We'll wait a few minutes for everybody to hop in. Yeah, we'll just be chilling for a couple minutes. We'll get started just in a moment here. Just waiting for a couple more people to join. And please share the space around. Hope everybody's having a good morning. And this is just going to be a community space. So I'll cover a few things to start. And then folks are welcome to jump up if they want to speak. If you have anything you're working on, you want to talk about, have any questions, whatever you like. Okay. I guess we can get started, I think. Here we go. We got Bernie. So for the first bit, we're going to chat a little bit with Bernie about some of the various things he's up to. I know he's got to go after like 15 or 20 minutes. So we can kind of start with him. I want to maximize the amount of time he's got. So maybe we'll go into that and then I can bring up some other topics after. So I don't know, anyone else who's got questions or anything, we'll probably hold on till after Bernie leaves, just because he's got limited time. But Bernie, how you doing?
Yes, I'm in a noisy area right now, but yeah, doing fine. How you guys doing?
Yeah, doing great. I was a little late to wake up this morning, so just kind of permanently a little slow today. But yeah, I'm really curious. Want to do a little bit of a project check in with you, Bernie, because obviously, we chat pretty regularly. You do a lot on the Stargaze side, leading like the UX design and things like that, the design side. But you're I don't know if it's first and foremost, but first, you were the creator on Stargaze with Pixel Wizards, followed up by the Pixel Witches. You've got a lot of different things you've done, like the coin flip game. You did individual kind of tribute tokens to in a one-of-one collection to a few different projects. We've got the ASCII, I don't know how to pronounce it, bunnies. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you've done a lot. ASCII, is that how we say it?
I believe so.
Right on.
In my humble opinion.
And then you recently, just a couple days ago, you launched um, the frogs, ASCII frogs on Hyperliquid. So you could maybe talk about how that was an inferior experience to launching on Stargaze, for example. But
It's a standpoint, yeah, but yeah, fully taking that into account. Like, it was really funny because I saw Bren, he's one of the regular members, launching something on Hyperliquid, and like he was the first launching collection there. And I was like, okay, how did it work? And I tried to mint one because I like his work. He also did hand pepes on base, which I minted as well, and also if you had a hand pepe, then you could mint a tiny hypercat that's on Hyperliquid. And but yeah, Hyperliquid has two chains. Like the first one is like, not even sure what that one is, which is just the normal Hyperliquid that everyone was used to, and then they're launched Hyperliquid EVM, which is just their EVM chain, which is really hard to get onboarded onto. Like, I wrote a thread about it. Like, it takes the steps from bridging USDC to Arbitrum and having a little bit of ETH in Arbitrum, then deposit it into Hyperliquid, and yeah, a lot of manual steps. And then you just have to have also a minimum trade amount of $10. So I had a lot of people asking like, oh, it's $17 to mint on Hyperliquid EVM. Well, the EVM doesn't charge a lot of gas, but there are a lot of hoops you need to get into before you could even mint one. There's no launchpad, so you have to make your own launchpad page, which of course Stargaze all takes into account for you. So you just go to Stargaze Studio and fill in the form, and voila, you're done. But it was the entire manual way of doing things, making your own contracts, put them on chain, deploying. It was the whole thing, which was for me more a learning experience. I did it because I wanted to learn how that EVM part was working and how that works. So then the frogs kind of blew up, like getting a lot of attention. And I started making the art for frogs on Friday, last Friday, and the mint was happening on Monday. So it was 4 days, and for intense days, but just trying to get on there as soon as possible before all the other hyped projects were coming over. So that even small creators like myself and other builders like Bren with his tiny hypercats could have a shot at being one of the first on the chain, which was really fun to do.
I think that you're a bit of like an auteur. I think you like having kind of control or have your hands in every step of the process. So I'm sure that was pretty engaging for you.
It was definitely engaging and also uh, helpful in learning the process for just all the technical stuff that needs to be done. Uh, just on the contract side, like I'm not even talking about creating indexers and optimizing JPEGs, which Stargaze Marketplace is doing, which is an insane amount of work. Um, but yeah, at this point, like on the Hyperliquid EVM, people are just fine with slow mints and stuff not working properly, um, which is definitely not the case for a 3-year-old product like Stargaze, where people expect high frequency mints and being able to trade fast, mint fast, have everything top notch down, which is also really challenging, but also really fun to work on as well. Um, but yeah, so it was a 180 degrees experience for me building on there. But started pouring out of the sky. I feel like it's a shelter.
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe people are more forgiving in a fresh ecosystem when you're on the frontier. Expectations are higher when it's like been around for 3 years, and you need to be delivering a constantly improving product, right? Speaking of that, Pixel Wizards have been around how long now? 18 months.
Yeah, like a little bit more than 2 years now. Um, which in January 21st of January in 2023 we launched Pixel Widget. So it's over 2 years now, which has been really wonderful because like a lot of people still hang around in the Discord and a lot of people just showing the Pixel Widget still and flexing them on the mobile phones, and especially in real life it's really amazing to see people enjoying wizards. Like I went to NFT Paris and also showed some people like Pixel Wizards on your phone, and they were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And yeah, that's still the fun thing about Pixel Wizards.
I think it was the mint I was like maybe most mad about missing, because I think it minted it really quick, and I got several on the secondary afterwards. That I think I still have pretty much all of them. But and I specifically got a bunch of the BTC wizards. I always thought those were kind of the coolest. But it's a neat collection in the sense that you have that there's the visual layer, and there's also that kind of coin alignment thing. People can kind of rep whatever their affiliation is, which is funny you did that, because now there's so many projects that are like kind of completely built around that. But you kind of had all of that subtly included in the single collection at start.
Yeah, and that was why, like, it still is the most challenging collection I ever did. Like Pixel Frogs, the art took one day, but like it just took 8 hours of genius creativity, in my opinion, and then having fun and some laughter, and my wife checking out some frogs and like, oh, you should try this and this, and so it had some good vibes, and it was really great. But Pixel Wizards is like on another level. It was also my first one doing it, and it took around 600 to 800 hours or something to build it to its final product. Because like when you've done the art, there are 14 more steps you need to take to make it an interactive SVG. Yeah, yeah. So it was the most challenging, but it's also still my most proudest collection. Along with Pixel Witches, which are even a little bit more complex. They have more animations, but it took a little bit of less time because I did the process once and had everything already set up.
And I think you've done updates to them over time. You've changed some of the tokens, things like that you're able to do. I was wondering what's going on for the Wizards now, if there's any updates coming or anything planned for the near future.
Yeah, so I've been releasing like with the token updates, it's more like some tokens get which is something I foresaw, like some tokens would files the picture, like mirror and I think UST was in the Pixel Wizards collection. So I swapped those out for Arch and also for Tia, which were more vibrant in the Cosmos ecosystem. And I think a lot of more people would like those rather than Mirror Protocol, which is not doing anything. I think, and UST just being a meme coin from the past. So I think it was nice to swap those out and being able to. It was a cumbersome process still, because one mistake make your wizards not be able to interact with them anymore, which was the case. So I had to update them 3 times or something to finally get it right. Yeah, so that was yeah, it's still like, and I got some future token updates in the process as well. Like Pixel Witches have Kuji as a token, which is still relevant, but eventually it will be phased out to Ruji or whatever it will become, because Torchain is also not doing really well. So yeah, those updates are in progress or being taught. I wanted to do more of multiple at the time because it's a lot of things to check before before changing them. And I also been talking to Passage about something fun for Pixel Wizards, and yeah, making more of my ultimate dream come true. And that's more like my vision would be then to launch something like a world where people can walk around with their wizards and witches and yeah, whatsoever. And like it's still a thing that's on my mind, but requires a shitload of money. I've come to like game development is a costly process. So I'm trying to find ways to make it happen, and yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's not a bad thing that it takes time to potentially to find some opportunity to do that, because NFTs are also sort of a brand and it develops over time, and like as it strengthens, you might find better opportunities to deploy, other than putting everything into making a game right away. Maybe you face a bunch of challenges, maybe it's not as great as people expected, things like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, a longer term vision being or goal, taking some time to get to.
Yeah, totally. Like it's a long term vision, and also like we just like ASCII Bunnies was more of a fun project. Pixel Tokens is just a one of one collection for tokens and for hardcore collectors which want to own one. Stargaze Invaders was a fun project, making a game fully as an NFT. Like each game is different, which was really fun to do. And that started out with Stargazer, the game, which is a Flappy Bird open edition mint. So yeah, I really like to do some of these fun things from time to time, to keep a little bit of a difference in things I'm doing. So yeah, I think it's a lovely process building in this way in Web3.
Yeah, you've always got something kind of simmering in the background, I think. Is there anything else you're working on you wanted to touch on?
No, yeah, I'm also working on Network Punk still, which has been delayed for a time over time, but we wanted to just find the right time to launch with the network DAO, but also in the right token on the right place, and with the whole Stargaze thing going on, because we were supposed to do on-chain NFTs, and then we reached out to Akash, which failed at some point, and yeah, just a lot of struggles to get something really nice going for the entire community there. But it's not stopped, so it's still in progress. Still making some small trades from time to time to make the collection like really freaking cool. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm working on besides Stargaze and Frogs.
What's your process when you do the ASCII art?
It's really funny. Like, there are multiple ways. Like these frogs, I can just type with the keyboard, which is pretty easy. I do almost all my collections in Figma. Only ASCII Bunnies was not done in Figma. It was done with Python. So just wrote a lot of scripts and had some text files with all the textural layers of the bunnies. Frogs are a little bit more sophisticated. So I did those in Figma as well. Network bunnies are really complicated, and I use Monodraw, which is an ASCII art drawing tool, to make the base kind of layers and to figure out ideas, which is just easy for drawing lines, rectangles with ASCII art and just copying them into Visual Studio Code, laying them out, and then lining them out in Figma. And I think that's where the most magic happens.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar if anyone else has done a collection in Figma. Maybe there's others, but it's cool.
Like, it's not great to do the generation there because it's freaking slow. So I did the frogs. The frogs generation was on chain, so it was entirely not like done by hand. It was entirely done by all the contracts I wrote, which is really cool. Like, you just store all the trades in different contracts and have the main contract pool from each contract a trade, and then with rarity and such. So it was a fun process doing on-chain stuff there as well. So it was entirely different as well. So I got a bunch of skills now in my set to make collections, and which was awesome so far.
Yeah, that's really cool. Was that I don't know how much smart contract work you do. Like, obviously you can like read and interact with them, but have you written many before?
No, that was my first time.
Cool.
Yeah, I must admit, like, ChatGPT helps a lot, but it's not that I'm entirely doing things out of my head, but just finding the right things. Like, you still have to do the debugging, the deploying, and all those kind of stuff. You have to do it yourself, but along the way, there's an AI to assist you, which is really helpful, making final changes, or like not the final changes, but the setup. And yeah.
I mean, I feel like almost anyone that does anything now, they usually have to say, I must admit, ChatGPT helped a little bit. So I don't think that's too out of the ordinary, right? Thank you, Florin. I noticed you pinned. Thanks. You're kind of playing an honorary co-host today. I appreciate you pinning some of Bernie's links there. I wanted to ask if you had any questions. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Bernie.
Oh, no, go ahead. We can move on to the questions.
I know that if you wanted to say something, I know that your time's limited. So if you do have to run, feel free to just jump in and say you got to go, right? As well.
Yeah. I've overrun trips or something.
Yeah, I was wondering, Florin, if you had any questions, or we can maybe open up the floor to see if anyone else wanted to hop up and say anything or ask any questions to Bernie.
No questions. Just wanted to give you props for hyperfrogs. They look great, and seems like there's like a little community forming around it. I got randomly thrown into some group chat because I posted the one that I minted, and your walkthrough on how to mint on hyperliquid chain EVM with big blocks was well written, and yet it was still very challenging to figure it out. I mean, I feel like I had to do like 50 different things, but I guess that's just the way it is with new stuff. It's not going to be.
Yeah, we're so blessed to be in Cosmos where everything is just IBC send received.
Right. No, seriously, it really made me feel like we're sitting on this platform and in this ecosystem that has so much to offer. Considering how, like, and your mint was so hyped, it minted out so quickly, and there's a whole bunch of people that are hype on the hyperfrogs, and it's like, how do we attract those users to come on over and mess around on the Cosmos side of things? Because I really,
yeah, it's a valid question. Like, what I did was just whitelisting, giving free mints to my previous holders, but also new holders, like people that ventured on to Stargaze and bought one of my collections were offered to be part of the free list, which was a 200 first come first serve list, which wasn't ideal, I know, but I thought it was good, but it went up not so good, like missing few people at the end there. Sorry for that. But yeah, still, like, I think that's really nice, like whitelisting previous collections and have people venture off onto Stargaze as well, because it's still the home chain. Frogs are really nice. I'm really loving the hype around hype, which is cool. Yeah, and looking forward to learning from different. I do gotta go now. Sorry if anyone else another question, drop them in the chat.
Yes,
I'll,
I have one quick question. Maybe you already answered one. Brady, who was that person who received T-shirt with bad kids on the Paris NFT event?
Sorry, could you repeat it? Bernie gave away a bad kids? I don't know the information about this. I don't know the context.
Yeah, sure. Bernie visited Paris NFT event and he prepared T-shirt with bad kids on it. And I'm interested. I'm curious what person have received it.
Okay, from one Cosmos member to another, don't go to NFT Paris. It sucks. It's you don't find any Cosmos people there. I only found Paco from the Celestine slots, and two other guys that owned a slot, but for the rest, everyone didn't know about Bad Kids, or maybe saw one, but yeah, weren't interested. So, it was a lot of abstract, Azuki, Butchie Penguins, those kind of people, and Bitcoin ordinals. Interesting to listen to, but not my like. It was like, oh yeah, we're the best, and I'm not interested in what you have to say. So it was very unfortunate, but yeah, tried my best. Laid out some stickers everywhere. Kept most of them. Better could use them in a more Cosmos oriented event.
Well,
Also,
that's sad to hear that maybe on Cosmoverse you will prove that you have a lot of people are following you. So let's wait for August or September. I don't know what date it will be this year, but I hopefully think that you will surprise everyone on that event.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'm hopping out. Thanks for having me on. Loving you all. See you guys later.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Yeah, Florin was in a state on Sunday preparing for the Frogs Mint, I think that's safe to say, Florin. You were hyped for that, and you were scrambling.
I most certainly was. I mean, I already had some frogs, but I wanted to grab some, or not frogs, bunnies. I had I had 1 or 2 bunnies. I wanted to grab some to give to other people because I thought it was going to be there's going to be like the mad dash to buy them, and then there was just something wrong with that particular marketplace, and I was pulling my hair out. Thanks for helping me on that, by the way, Brady.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was exciting. You know, maybe we need to make things more complicated on Stargaze. If people want to like jumping through a bunch of hoops to mint something, maybe that's part of the mystery. Maybe that's how we get more hype, and then it's like, oh, I gotta do all this to get it. And maybe things are too smooth now. I'm just joking though. But Pof, you hopped up. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, actually, Grafen today wrote me that I will be on that stage. I didn't know that, but I promised for her that I will try to jump in. So that's why I'm here. I'm actually I'm a session with today with architects. I'm actually haven't expectation about their sales before the session, but it looks like we are planning to trade on Stargaze. And I want to mention that team is prepared pretty well. As they mentioned, they have built their product for 1 year, so I'm pretty excited what will be with their mint next month on Stargaze. So mint will be not on Stargaze, but I think they will trade on Stargaze. Somehow we will bridge from their native home chain to Stargaze and trade there. So I will patiently, like a part of expedition community, will accept them to our family, and let's see how it will look like with the opportunities there. So
yeah, for sure. The architects, we've chatted with them a little bit. I'll pin something from them here, but yeah, it looks like they're going to do a launch late next month, probably. It's going to be similar to Mad Scientist, to kind of stream swap and then burn to mint model, I believe, on Osmosis, and then trading on Stargaze right away after their mint. So that should be pretty interesting. I don't know if you had more info from the AMA you did with them. I didn't realize you did one earlier this morning, but yeah.
we have finished it 1 hour ago. They mentioned that they will make an announcement next week. Where we'll announce their home chain, where we will have liquidity pools and so on and so forth. But only information I know about them from that Alma session that where StreamSwap will take 3 days and streaming process 1 hour, so it will be very quick. I'm pretty want to secure all audience about StreamSwap because it was one unsuccessful StreamSwap 1 day before. So let's see how we will be prepared about that stream swaps and preparing providing security of liquidity pool. But for now, I see that team is prepared pretty well. They believe in the product we're building, so I'm hopefully waiting for them in future sessions, maybe on that stage in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Let's see. Maybe it's good for you, Brady, to invite them to their stage and speak a little bit about their product, because we will also trading on Stargaze. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we've been in communication with them for a little bit. So, all those, they'll be definitely invited up to chat a little bit as it gets closer to their mint. Their art looks really neat. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. That's about a month away, I think. But also, so Graphene invited you to come up, Hoof. What else were you, did you have anything to tell us about that's going on with Expedition or anything?
Actually, we had very busy January for Expedition. We had pumped this price. We had our all-time high. We haven't expected that. And after that, I am like a hamster in the wheel, started to work very hard to join all sessions, to try receive all activities inside of Cosmos, outside of Cosmos. We get a lot of results. And after that, I was exhausted. Second part of February, I was completely out of Web3. I just take a rest. Right now, I'm back. I'm preparing with my team new stuff. Before that, in the expedition team was only 2 persons. It was the founder, Dollar Boy. He is artist and making all technical part of all process inside of expedition. I am absolutely out of technical part. I cannot change the name of the ticket in the Discord. I am absolutely zero on that. I can only speak and make some collaboration parts, communicate with community and so on, create some kind of events. Second person was me, co-founder of Stamps. So I'm actually not related to Expedition. I'm just become to the team as a community member. And right now we have 2 more guys. One is our strategy manager. He's preparing our onboard platform. It is very curious thing we are planning to launch on April. I will speak about it a little bit later, about 1 month. We need to finish all details, and after that, we will be ready to announce it. I think it will be very useful for Cosmos Hub Total to bring new people and to get on board easier. And also, we have a second girl. She is making collaboration out of Cosmos and trying to reach other communities to Cosmos chain, from Expedition to Stargaze and other things. Also, we have Zoo. Zoo is an amazing girl. We had 2 weeks ago together that Gartic battle. She is our owner of Discord, so it's her space, and he just owning Discord and making all activities there. So actually, we are on 5 in Expedition right now, like that. So it's all news about Expedition for now. Right now we have peace. We enjoy that. We have our time to make all our work. We are building some stuff, and in a few months we will ready to show our first real utility, because before that we just was in a social collection. Right now you have some physical utility like that, and I think a lot of products will want to be part of that. So we are ready to make some noise in a few months like that, Brady.
Great. And I appreciated that artist Gartic phone thing you organized. We hosted it in Stargaze Discord. That was a lot of fun. Was that last week or the week before? This is pretty.
It was week before. I know that you like to hate me a little bit.
No, oh no, not at all. What are you talking about, Poof?
No, just joking. Like
the jokes
each-
made.
yeah,
In the name of.
with fun laugh. I'm actually also enjoyed that event. A lot of different artists joined that. Fruitopia. Also, I think you had problems with internet collections, but if she will have good connection, she will beat all of us. Like that.
Yo-ya?
Yeah, I think so.
for sure. She had some connection challenges, but yeah, she's a dynamite artist.
But
I think I was
he's the winner. Flarn Roos was the winner. He had the best
Flarn
art.
had some nice stuff. Well, Flarn is very experienced mouse and keyboard and drawing in that style. So we were right in his wheelhouse, right in Flarn's pocket, I think, making doodles. But yeah, Poof, I remember I was throwing your name out as a prompt a few times. It was like, Poof dancing in the moonlight, things like that.
It's just
hoping
fun,
to get
yeah.
some good ones.
I don't keep it by myself, but it's funny. I'm just kidding also.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, in Flarn, you had some good ones. I remember looking through them. I looked through them again after. And Flarn, you were the first. I think you're the only person to use mess with the opacity, which is a nice move. A very good way to give yourself a little bit of an edge in a competition like that. Editing your brush opacity.
Yeah, I got to use everything I can get being the dunce that I am. I don't know if dunce is on here, but I just put a mouse reaction on something, so I'm feeling very dunce-like.
On the topic of collaboration, a lot of the artists that were playing that game contributed to Cosmic Gumballs. So I don't know if you wanted to. I think most people are fairly familiar with it, but I don't know if you wanted to give any update on that or anything. Flarn, I can pin something from it, but a whole lot of people from Stargaze, contributed to that collection. I think you had maybe 30 artists or something like that, and some people that were new to art, that were not already existing creators on Stargaze as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to talk about the Cosmic Gumball machine. If for those of you who are not familiar with the Cosmic Gumball machine, it's an NFT collection on Stargaze. It's quite simple. It's just it's like a gumball with a face and a background, or like the three criteria to be a gumball. And then there's some other traits for some of them. And I had floated this idea back in the summer of 2024 when talking about NFTs. That a lot of times, there's like a lot of expectations with the NFT PFP project. It's going to be, there's the roadmap, and then there has to be a product that gets delivered. But a lot of times I think of NFT collections more like a gumball machine. You show up and you click mint and you get your random piece of art that goes in your wallet, and hopefully it's a delightful or strange or unusual or interesting or beautiful experience, or maybe even it's revolting, but you get to feel something, and that feeling is short-lived, and so you go and you mint another one. If you've been in crypto long enough, you've probably clicked the mint button on various NFT collections on various chains, maybe even hundreds of times. So I wanted to just like make this gumball machine, or I didn't really, it was just kind of an idea, like NFTs as gumballs. And then Bibby, who is a community member of the Corium blockchain, had reached out to me because he really liked what I was kind of talking about, and he wanted to turn it into like an actual project called the Cosmic Gumball Machine on Stargaze. And I was like, heck yeah, let's do this. So Bibby sent me like a whole bunch of pictures that he had taken, and we used a lot of those as backgrounds. And then I drew a whole bunch of backgrounds, and we got like a bunch of pictures of gumballs, and we cut the image out and made that as like the base. And then I drew like a ton of faces on them and added some traits and updated my art generator that's written in Python to accommodate some new and like unique features, like trait specific traits and like trait rules, like certain traits that don't trigger if other traits have been triggered and stuff like that. And then he also invited a whole bunch of different artists to participate. There's 28 different contributors to the collection, and then myself. So that's like 29 artists that contributed to the collection. And some people only contributed one of one NFT. For example, Maria of Women from Cosmos, you contributed one really cool image. It's like a tennis ball, or kind of like lady kind of thing that's really cool. Brady, the host today, he contributed 10 really beautiful like space theme planetary like celestial bodies that are pixel art and kind of monochromatic and very beautiful. And looks like Yoya, who's on here, she contributed some really, really nice gumballs, many of them holding masks in the style of the drama queens. Let's see if there's anybody else on here that contributed. I actually made one of the faces I made. So Austin, who's on here as a listener, I made his Discord PFP as one of the faces because I was chatting with him on a live stream and I was doing like some live drawing. So you'll see that. I believe the trait name is DAODev, perhaps. So yeah, there's a lot of weird traits and a lot of different features. There's a ton of little sub collections within the collection. And right now it's about 27% minted out. The mint has been kind of a slow and steady mint, and I've been enjoying seeing the mints come in through. I created a Discord for the Cosmic Gumball machine, and I actually wrote my first Discord bot. It's written in Python, called the Cosmic Gumball, and this bot basically just more or less handles when people join and leave the server. It creates little welcome messages, and anytime anyone says Gumball in any of the channels, it kind of goes crazy and says it's like creates a Gumball alert to kind of make things fun. I'm in the process of writing a feature called the Hold, because I'm sure if anybody who's listening has been in Discord servers, they're familiar with the consistent recurrence of like spam accounts and people who post malicious links. So I've been creating like a library of like common posts by those types of accounts. And then I'm going to have the Cosmic Gumball bot will place those accounts in a channel that's like sort of like a prison, and users can sort of watch them. Like you can like watch the scammers or spammer bots like interact with each other, kind of like a zoo. But that I'm still working on that. That's turning out to be quite a bit more complex than I expected. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of animated gumballs in there. There's a ton of rare ones. I would say there's like maybe close to 2,000 like rare gumballs in a collection. And then there's the Gumball DAO. So the vast majority of the mint proceeds are automatically split across 3 different splits contracts. Well, there's actually 4 splits contract, like a master contract that receives all the funds and then splits those funds to 3 different other splits contracts that then further splits all the funds to every single one of the artists that participated. Receives like between 0.75 and 1.5% of every minted gumball. Every artist receives those funds instantly. And then in addition, various DAOs receive a chunk of the funds. The Smokers Club receives some of the funds. The Cosmos or the Stargaze Art DAO receives funds from each mint, which that's because Brady donated his share from his contribution. And then the funds that go to the Cosmic Gumball wallet, which was the wallet that deployed the collection, those funds are used right now primarily to just send straight to the Cosmic Gumball DAO. And then distributions are rewarded to the people who stake their gumballs to the DAO. It's really crazy. Over 70% of the minted gumballs are staked to the DAO. So that I don't think I've seen a staking ratio that's that high. So anyways, I've probably talked for a little bit too long here. I'm really excited to see more of the rares get minted. There's some really, really neat ones in there. And I'm really excited to see where the project goes once it's fully minted out. And I'm going to be on a podcast on Sunday talking about the Cosmic Gumball machine at 2 p.m. Central Time. So if you're available, it's called the Hyperledger Podcast. I believe it's gonna be on X as well. But yeah, I've just been chilling gumballs, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been trying to create art around it. Like on top of that, I've been building out the Discord server. Our community is growing, and the idea is that it's a full community kind of project with lots of engagement and lots of fun and scumballs. So yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got to share about gumballs.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, Florin. No, I mean, I love these, I love like a big collaborative collection and a lot of respect for how much extra work goes into that. It's like the saying, like travel was, if you want to travel tomorrow, travel with other people. If you want to travel today, travel alone. It's a ton of work when you have people to coordinate with. So many extra steps. I know you and I were going over it before the launch, even like, putting all the metadata together, getting everything coherent and consistent, stuff like that. So, shout out to like all the extra work that went into that collection, because I know it was like very significant. And I hope it was enjoyable for you. I'm sure you kind of were able to get lost in it a little bit. But yeah, really, really cool. It's a cool collection. Lots of fun.
Yeah, because of all the contributors, there's like over 1,000 different like unique traits in the collection. Because basically, I just requested that everyone, if they submit art, they submit just metadata information about each of the three core categories, which was background, face, and gumball. But they can add other traits as well. So it was really interesting to see all the different ideas people had about like describing their gumballs. And when you look at the metadata in the collection, it's very clear, like there's just hundreds and hundreds of traits in some of the main trait types, which creates lots and lots of rare NFTs. But then there's also this sort of core collection, which I've called the Galactic Core, which is made up of lots of different traits that are randomly chosen from all the different layers that I created. So it was a lot of fun to see kind of how all those pieces fit together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. And I think we've had a lot of cool collaborations recently, actually. We did the holiday drop for, was it 12 Days of Stargaze? It was Homestead's kind of grand vision with the free mints from all these different creators on Stargaze. We were all in the Discord channels, sorting those out together. Getting all those and 12 days of free mints. I think that was the first time Stargaze has done anything like that. And Flarn, you contributed one. Expedition contributed a collection to that as a free mint. Sneaky in the audience that did. So it's been a really cool, I think, collaborative atmosphere kind of over the last year or so, which is awesome to see. And I was wondering, Poof, since you're up here as well, if you had any other collaborations that Expedition's doing that you wanted to speak about, because I know you guys, you're out there, like you said, you're the kind of collab guy. You guys are always out there kind of building relationships with different projects.
Actually, we are trying to do all our best we can and trying to reach all collaboration and invite as much as possible people to Stargaze. But for now, we have this period of time. I'm taking care of all work and just relaxing. Right now, I'm just making all stuff inside of our collection because we need to increase the level of our communication inside of community. To grow up, it's important to follow two steps. To keep interest of holders we already have, and second step is to bring new holders. For now, we have a lot of holders and we need to protect their funds, their interest. That's why I'm not trying to reach new collaborations, because I need to work with community I already have. But after that, in April, I don't know, we will try to do some other several steps to prove everything we already made for that. But Brady, I have a question to you, because you all always asking and asking, but maybe you're ready to answer one more question. Few days ago, I've read in the chat of Stargaze that you have a problem with bots. Several people are trying to use different bots to mint faster than another one, and you published that you have prepared some kind of system to work with that bots, somehow to eliminate them from mint process. So if you have some information about that, I want to ask you what you have already created with a team against that bot attacks.
Yeah, well, like for security stuff, I don't think the team should explain specifically what they're doing. But there were some updates to the Stargaze Minter that should help with that. But naturally with anything, it's the same as, for example, we have like the active users snapshot, and we don't say exactly what the criteria is for someone to be included in that, right? Because you don't want it to be gamed. I think that some of the specifics for, if we can go back to that, I think there was a large concern about bots that came from the whale sharks mint. And one thing that we have when projects are coming over, and if they have a whitelist, so we have like probably a pretty good understanding of bots where they're used by existing Stargaze users. If because the behavior on chain is pretty evident. And but if you have a case, let's say a brand new chain is called, like, I don't know, Burger Chain, and Burger Chain comes over to Stargaze to launch their burger collection. If they're bringing all these addresses over that users who were maybe engaging on their test nets, things like that, it's a little bit more challenging to assess which of those, what might be organic activity or what may be bot farms, that kind of thing, right? So that's kind of on them to do a better job of filtering those out. And so, we're going to work more with those projects when they come over to really emphasize that if in any of their previous engagement programs, for example, maybe they're building a whitelist based off people who interacted on their test net, that they need to be rigorous in trying to ensure that they're keeping bots out so that those aren't then, translated into being on the Stargaze mint, and explain, the likely challenges or outcomes that they might face if they lead those in. But at the end of the day, though, like, whitelists, for example, the whitelist system to begin with is a system for filtering out bots, right? If a big project went to mainnet or went to public mint right away on Stargaze, it would get botted pretty hard. So there's a responsibility for the projects to, when they're creating and curating their whitelist, to select good users, right? And like organic users, this sort of thing. If they don't want to, then they'll have more bots in there, right? Bots exist on every single chain. They're a part of every single mint, on Solana, anywhere. And all you can really do is like limit the amount that exists. It is not in any way something that is like especially an issue for Stargaze. It's just a normal thing that's common across all chains. But one thing we are doing is for like projects that are coming over, really emphasizing that they need to filter out bots, things like that. I had a conversation with one just last week, or was it earlier this week? I'm not sure, about creating their whitelist and strategies that they need to employ well ahead of time to help make sure it doesn't get gamed. And then there's some things that you can do on the technical side as well. But the most important thing for it is, is how the whitelist is kind of allocated, what addresses are included, what addresses are excluded. And we can support and advise on that. But it is still, just like Expedition, it's your choice who's on your whitelist. Same as Flarn. It's something that like we can better inform creators about, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's kind of up to them, right?
Let's look at it on another case. So for you as a team, do you want to eliminate bots from your mint process? That's mean if you mentioned that bot has joined any mint, I don't know, for example, but Union Sharks, example. If you mentioned that account used bot from that Stargaze address to mint that NFT, do you want to eliminate that Stargaze address from all future other mains will be on Stargaze? Or for you, it's not a problem, you just take it as it will be and avoid everything, or you're planning to eliminate all that addresses? Because in the chat of Stargaze, I think Grafton mentioned that you know about that problem and you want to eliminate all bots from minting process at all. So what are your plans for the future? Maybe you don't have plans and you haven't thought about it, so just leave us?
So we have thought about it. We've thought about all this stuff a lot. Like it's not like we're aware of this stuff, but before it becomes like a public discussion, right? Before it becomes like the topic of the day, the last few weeks, or I guess that's the topic of the week or whatever. It's something that Stargaze team has been actively like working to prevent. Like I said, like even the whitelist system is in place to filter out bots, right? So as far as it goes, like eliminating an address forever, I don't know about that specifically. But to answer your question specifically, yeah, for me, I don't like bots at all. I think that, it puts the average user at a huge disadvantage. We have like a nice UI and UX for a reason, right? It's a bot doesn't even interact with that. A bot is just running a CLI, right? Yeah, so you wouldn't even need the Stargaze site that we work very, very hard on, right? If it was all bots. So of course it's like, no, everything we're doing is to try and build something that's like a good user experience. And more so, when we think about onboarding, we think about bringing new people into NFTs, into the ecosystem, you want them to be able to engage without having a huge disadvantage, right? Like how are you going to onboard people? Hypothetically, if we had no whitelists, for example, and it was like every mint was botted like crazy, well, like if anyone comes and tries for the first time, they're going to have a pretty negative experience, right? So, no, we're always working like specifically, I think, that user, which is just kind of like the average person using the website, not someone that's, trying to find out or figure out a way to set up a bot network or something like that. That's the user that we're trying to prioritize.
Yeah, I got you. That's true, and I think everything you've mentioned, that's like it is. So no comment here. But also I want to mention that here are a lot of Genesis collections right now in other chains, meaning on other marketplace. And I see community feedback about that minting process of Genesis collection. I hate that Genesis theme because every project, every protocol to think like Genesis collection. I am just against of that. I think we have to create something new. I'm already tired about that. But also we had Lava, we had Milk Tea, we had a lot of different other projects, Dimension Wizards and so on and so forth. But everyone mentions that they had bad user experience with that minting process on other chains. But with Stargaze, no problem. I love your new pop-up notifications you have while mint, selling offers and so on and so forth. That's amazing. And I think right now at the moment Stargaze provide the best user experience while mint of very fast mint of Genesis collections. So like
when did Expedition launch? What like it was about 1 year ago, right? No, it was maybe June 2024.
June 2024. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, see, I pay attention to you guys. You can call yourselves like the June 2024 Genesis or something.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a very overused term for sure. If everything's Genesis, then nothing's Genesis, right? So I mean, people want to punctuate whatever they're doing, especially if it's like in alongside maybe another chain launching, that kind of thing. Like Union, the whale sharks, like their chain is going on mainnet relatively soon, so there's kind of something special about it there. But yeah, maybe there's some other terms we can use as well. Speaking of which, I want to talk briefly about the Genesis collections on Intergaze, because they we had the Tudza Interwoven Bunny limited edition launch on Stargaze last week. So there's 3 collections that will launch with Intergaze. They're launching at the, Initia mainnet will go live. Intergaze and all the other Initia rollups will go live. And then, those will be like the first NFTs minted in the Initia ecosystem. So that's a Genesis component. But, previous or prior to them going live, where we want these guys to be exposed to Stargaze. And we want to connect kind of with like the real users that are engaged with those projects, because anything that's around like a really big hype mint that's connected to a chain launching, there's, like you said, like a whole lot of bot activity or kind of like, I don't know what online, frankly, generally speaking, I don't know who's a human and who isn't on Twitter and things like that. So with those projects, we're having these kind of badges, these open editions that they're launching on Stargaze prior to their mint. They're all limited supply, like 300 print or copy limited edition, and they get a role on the Stargaze Discord. And in that gated channel, we're doing like some giveaways with them. We're trying to do some engagement with them. We really want these users to start to get exposed to Stargaze, generally speaking, and as well as, in the lead up to the mint, we can do some giveaways to them, making content about Intergaze, things like that. So it's kind of like a kind of a little bit of a soft onboarding thing. It's in collaboration with those projects and just kind of trying to get some of their users exposed to Stargaze ahead of those mints, as well as so I think their whitelists are based on basically like in their Discords, the whatever kind of like their highest tier of people are, I believe, submitted addresses for it, highest tier roles sort of in their Discord. So we really wanted to kind of cut through the noise and speak directly to their most engaged kind of community base. So that's just to give you some context, or a description of what the interwoven bunny is. I think the raccoons have one coming up as well, and so those are we'll see those on Stargaze over the next couple of weeks. Just to chat about Intergaze really generally, because I think it's relevant to something that Bernie was talking about, relevant to something Flarn talked about, bringing in new users, as well as, people getting excited about, when there's like somewhere new or being like the first NFTs in a given ecosystem. When we talked with creators and users on Stargaze around November, we did a bunch of consultations with them, like one-on-one calls. I think I spoke with both of you guys at that point, actually. Like one of the biggest requests that we had from people was, Stargaze, like expanding to other ecosystems, deploying in other places. One thing specifically that a few people brought up was you getting Launchpad on other ecosystem. And so that's what Intergaze is. We're putting a Launchpad in the Initial ecosystem.
So Intergaze, I'm sorry, Intergaze will be only Launchpad, and after that collection can be traded on Stargaze or Zar marketplace.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
I got you.
So we'll be launching. So we'll have kind of the NFT Launchpad in the Initial ecosystem, which is like a brand new, fresh ecosystem. A lot of people are going to be interested in exploring, and hopefully that brings new users, people who are maybe they haven't been in Cosmos at all before, that kind of thing, but they might be interested in checking out Initial. It's kind of people are interested in looking at these kind of frontiers, right? And if we're able to present Stargaze in those kind of places and show that, hey, look at how great our product is, right? Expose people to it. They go through the process. They do everything on, the Stargaze Launchpad there will be the same as it is presently on the L1. And then, they can migrate over to Marketplace and trade, have a great trading experience. And it's something that, we'll have stars integrated into Intergaze as well. So it's something that will, directly be utilizing stars. We'll have kind of more information about all that stuff a little bit closer to launch. A lot of the launch communication around Intergaze has been totally in coordination with all the other roll-ups. In Initial, there's like communication with all of them. And then it's really a kind of, it's like a kind of co-marketing thing connected to the Initial ecosystem. So that's really where a lot of the communication has been focused. But we'll be, in the next couple of weeks, kind of laying out more of the specifics about things like fees, how different, they have like a VIP point system in Initial for if you have any activity, you can kind of earn points for that activity. Anyone on any of the roll-ups can earn in it. I think it's like a vested in it from the L1. So like Intergaze will be eligible for that. People who are making transactions on Intergaze, and so we'll have more specific details about how all of that works with how people can kind of earn in it by minting on Intergaze. How stars is integrated into that as well. But yeah, probably in a couple weeks. But I just wanted to speak on that a little bit because I know people had some questions about it, about specifics. and that's kind of where we're at now. But I'm really excited for it. I think that having exposure to Stargaze in a fresh ecosystem is really valuable for the product, for everyone in the community. We need to have this kind of focus on bringing in new users, expanding, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
In my opinion, also communities have to be prepared to bring you liquidity, because if a lot of people from abroad will join Intergaze, and after that they will mint the NFTs there and move it to Zar or Stargaze, a lot of communities from Stargaze have to be prepared for that, because that people do not know how to use Kepler, stake their Atom, or just breach their NFTs from I don't know, Osmosis to Stargaze if they have made scientists, for example. So I think communities like Shitmos Shitmos Economic Zone, be prepared how to onboard all that people like that.
So we have a new utility for Shitmos.
Yeah,
you're
onboard people.
totally right.
LFS, baby.
Yeah, you're totally right though. Poof. And that's also part of why we did the open editions. You know, if we have a couple hundred users from those communities that have had basic level experience, like using Stargaze Launchpad, making a Kepler wallet to mint something, and then maybe they do a bit of trading. You know, when we're doing the giveaways on that channel, we're giving away, you know, NFTs from all the existing communities on Stargaze to them. So, you know, kind of trying to encourage them to get used to the platform, and then hopefully those people can then you know, communicate to the rest of their community, and it takes a little bit of the load off the rest of us, because it's just a lot of people to talk to and help out on any given day, right?
Yeah, for sure. I have donated one NFT from myself because I think people from abroad have to be rewarded to stay here for a long time.
I think you got in there early with a expedition giveaway. Maybe you gave away a stamp or something. I think it was
like
Solid Boy. Yeah.
just one NFT, and never mind, just a little present for Initia.
I think that was smart. Yeah. But that's pretty much all it is with those NFTs though. You know, they're access to a gated channel on the Stargaze Discord. The people who grab them are from those communities to begin with. So I mean, I think that's cool what you did, you know, to hop in there to kind of try and introduce Expedition a little bit, do a giveaway and a welcome to them. I think that's pretty neat, pretty smart. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is. I know I saw some people have questions about like, what are these and things like that. So wanted to cover them briefly.
I actually don't have any questions about that part. I think you have explained everything clear. So if you have another theme, we can continue speak about another theme. If you finish for today, I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for today, except one thing I did want to say. Next week, we have Clay Pals minting from Vic. We'll do a specific space with Vic next week that I'm looking forward to. I think everybody knows Vic pretty well, you know, Stargaze ambassador, as well as, you know, he's kind of like the most active person in Stargaze Telegram, community member forever, really engaged, extremely helpful guy. And the art on these is really cool. I think he posted a process video. Yeah, it makes all these like in Blender. It's really neat. They're, you know, digitally hand molded. I don't know how we say that now, but really neat collection. So that will be the feature next week. There's no feature this week. And Florin had the mic open.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention the process video that Vic posted. It's really cool. It's like he has like these custom materials that he applies to his sculpts that make it look like clay, and it's really it's amazing. I just posted it to the nest if you want to take a look. It's really something else.
Yeah, it's really neat. So we're looking forward to that. And that'll be next week. I'll also briefly mention tomorrow there's the Art DAO space. Sandy Toes is going to be speaking, and Yoya is going to be kind of hosting for the first half of it. You know, she's got like some questions prepared for Sandy and things. So I guess her first time doing any kind of co-hosting or hosting on a space. I'll be hanging out, trying to be quiet, just to kind of support her on it. But I welcome people to join tomorrow, and shout out to Yoya for that.
I also want to add some information about Faber's collections. You already mentioned a total supply of that NFT collections will be 2,500 NFTs. From that, all total amount of NFTs, we will keep 50 NFTs for promo events and giveaways. He will be 3 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 will be free mint for holders of his main OG collection. Tier 2 will be $6 and he will be limit for 1,000 mints. So if you will be a member of different collections, you can join tier 2 whitelist stage and mint with discount his NFT. It will be on the March 7. Also, if you are a holder of Expedition, you can join his Discord and submit your Stargaze wallet to get on that stage whitelist. So we had collaboration with him, but we haven't announced it yet. So it's a little bit alpha for you guys. If you have Expedition NFT, you can submit your wallet in his Discord now. Tier 3 whitelist will be $8 in Atom for remaining supply. And also will be public sale for $10 in Atom. And the mint will be very, very soon. I'm also excited for his mint. I know him for a lot of time from a Proha Cartel Telegram chat. He is very active here, asking questions about Stargaze, helping us with different things. Also about Expedition. He helped us to launch our collections with Stargaze today. He assists us. So if you like his art, you can mint his NFT collection very, very soon. And you have right now all information about his collection. I think he missed today's stage, so that's why I introduced his collection a little bit, and you have a couple information more about that.
Wonderful. Thank you for the specifics both. Yeah, I think with that we'll probably wrap up for today, and next week we'll talk to Vic more specifically. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys hopping up. I appreciate everyone listening. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Peace out, everybody.